Imagine waking up at 3 a.m. to find a stranger sitting on your bed, holding broken glass with blood dripping from their hand. Now imagine you're the most protected person on the planet, yet somehow nobody is coming to help you. This nightmare actually happened to Queen Elizabeth II, and what she did next will absolutely blow your mind. But that's just the beginning. What if I told you that behind the glittering crowns and palace walls, royal families have been involved in crimes so shocking they make today's headlines look tame? We're talking about kings who committed treason against their own people, princes facing dozens of criminal charges, and scandals so explosive they literally rewrote the laws of entire nations. Today, we're diving into 20 jaw-dropping royal crimes, from modern-day arrests that shook monarchies to historical scandals that changed the course of history forever. You're about to discover which princess became the first royal ever convicted of a crime, which king was so terrifying his own family feared for their lives, and the forbidden love affair that nearly destroyed the British monarchy. Grab your favourite drink and prepare for the most explosive royal expose you've ever seen, because what you're about to learn will change how you view royalty forever. And don't forget to smash that like button. Let's get into it. Story 10. Princess Anne's Dog Attack. Princess Anne, the hard-working daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, holds a dubious honour. She's the first royal ever convicted of a criminal charge. In April 2002, her English Bull Terrier Dottie attacked 2 children in Windsor Great Park. The aftermath was devastating. Anne was charged under the Dangerous Dogs Act, paid substantial fines, and had to appear in court. But here's what's touching. She took full responsibility without excuses, which honestly made me respect her even more. Story 9. Princess Margaret's Forbidden Affair. Let's travel to the 1950s for a love story that nearly brought down the monarchy. Princess Margaret fell head over heels for Group Captain Peter Townsend, a war hero who was everything a fairy tale prince should be. Just one problem: he was divorced, which was absolutely scandalous. The church wouldn't recognise the marriage, the government was in uproar, and Margaret had to choose between love and duty. In 1955, she made the heartbreaking decision to end the relationship. It's a reminder that even princesses don't always get their happily ever after. Story 8. James VI/7th and the Witch Hunts. King James VI of Scotland was convinced witches were out to get him. After storms hit his ship in 1589, he didn't accept it as bad weather. He believed witches conjured the storms to eliminate him. James wrote Daemonology, which became the handbook for witch hunters across Europe. The trials that followed were heartbreaking. Innocent people, mostly women, were accused based on the flimsiest evidence. His obsession influenced persecution for generations, even reaching the American colonies. Story 7. King Charles I's ultimate downfall. Charles I believed in the divine right of kings, that God chose him to rule. This led to catastrophic decisions. He tried to rule without parliament for 11 years, raising taxes without approval. When civil war broke out, it tore families apart. Charles was captured, tried, and found guilty of high treason. On January 30th, 1649, he was executed in front of a massive crowd. If England could execute their king, what did that mean for royal families everywhere? It showed that even kings aren't above the law. Story 6. The abdication that rocked the world. King Edward VIII seemed perfect for the role, charming and incredibly popular. But he fell in love with Wallis Simpson, an American socialite who was divorced twice. The church wouldn't accept her as queen, causing a constitutional crisis. Edward chose love over duty, abdicating after less than a year. But there's a darker twist. His connections to Nazi Germany raised serious security concerns. His brother George VI was thrust into the throne during the most challenging period, changing the monarchy forever. Story 5. Ernest Augustus, the Duke of Darkness. Ernest Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, was genuinely terrifying. King George III's fifth son had a vicious temper and ambition that knew no bounds. In 1810, his valet Joseph Sellis was found with his throat slashed, officially ruled self-inflicted. Nobody believed it. There were whispers about inappropriate behavior and even rumors he was plotting to eliminate those ahead of him in succession. When he became King of Hanover, his subjects lived in genuine fear. His reign was marked by oppression and cruelty. Story 4. George IV Poisonous Marriage. George IV and Caroline of Brunswick's marriage was catastrophic. George despised Caroline from their first meeting and spent their wedding night passed out drunk. They separated immediately, and George tried everything to get rid of her, cutting off her income, spreading rumors, even putting her on trial for adultery. The public adored Caroline as a wronged woman fighting a bully. Then came the shocking twist. Weeks after being excluded from George's coronation, Caroline suddenly died. Her symptoms were consistent with poisoning, and while nothing was proven, the whispers followed George forever. Story 3. The Norwegian Prince's Shocking Charges. This story is devastating and happening right now. Marius Borg Høiby, stepson of Crown Prince Haakon of Norway, has been charged with 32 criminal offences. The Norwegian people watched him grow up, making these charges heartbreaking for everyone. The accusations span multiple incidents involving multiple alleged victims. Crown Princess Mette-Marit is watching her child face serious allegations while navigating her role as future queen. It's forced Norway to have difficult conversations about privilege and accountability that strike at the heart of what monarchy means. Story 2. Prince Andrew and the scandal that changed everything. Prince Andrew's scandal effectively ended his royal career and left the British royal family in crisis. Once the action man and Queen Elizabeth's favourite son, his association with Jeffrey Epstein led to serious allegations that sent shockwaves worldwide. His BBC interview was a disaster. His bizarre explanations made things worse. He settled a civil case for millions, effectively admitting the allegations warranted substantial compensation. Andrew was stripped of military titles and patronages. This scandal fundamentally changed how we view the modern monarchy. Story 1. The Bedroom Intruder. Now for the terrifying story I promised. On July 9th, 1982, Michael Fagan broke into Buckingham Palace twice. His second break-in was shocking. Queen Elizabeth II woke to find him sitting on her bed, holding broken glass, blood dripping from his hand. The terror she must have felt. But here's what's remarkable. Instead of panicking, she stayed calm and engaged him in conversation for 10 minutes. She pressed her alarm multiple times, but no one came. When help finally arrived, it was a maid, not security. The failures were massive. Alarms connected to understaffed stations, sensors switched off, guards assuming movement was routine. But this incident showed the Queen had nerves of steel. In her moment of greatest vulnerability, she displayed calm courage that defined her entire reign. She turned a dangerous situation into a conversation, protecting herself through pure composure. The security overhaul was comprehensive, but the real impact was seeing the Queen's extraordinary inner strength, and that's exactly why this story takes our #1 spot. So there you have it, 10 incredible stories proving royal families are far more complex than any fairy tale. If these stories left you wanting more, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let me know in the comments which stories shocked you most. Remember that behind every crown lies a human story, and sometimes those stories are far more incredible than any fiction we could imagine. Picture this. A king stands at the altar, his hands trembling as he holds 2 wedding rings, one for his secret wife hidden in the shadows, and another for the bride the nation expects him to marry. What he's about to do will shock the establishment and create a scandal so explosive that Parliament will literally try to rewrite history. But which king am I talking about? And how did his criminal deception nearly destroy the British monarchy? Well, stick around because that absolutely mind-blowing story is coming at #1. We're diving into 10 of the most jaw-dropping crimes committed by royalty. From illegal weddings to financial fraud, these blue-blooded rebels prove that crowns don't come with consciences. These aren't typical royal scandals. We're talking about actual criminal behavior that landed royals in courtrooms and literally rewrote laws. So grab your favorite drink and prepare for some seriously explosive historical drama. Don't forget to smash that like button. Story 10. Adultery accusations, the cheating scandals. Kicking off at number 10, royal infidelity wasn't just personal failing, it was crime against the crown itself. Throughout history, adultery among royalty created constitutional nightmares and political upheaval. The most scandalous cases involved monarchs whose affairs threatened succession lines and created illegitimate heirs who could claim thrones. Palace staff were bribed to stay silent, evidence was destroyed, and witnesses mysteriously disappeared. These scandals shaped laws that still exist today. Marriage laws and succession rules were rewritten because monarchs couldn't control their wandering eyes. Story 9. Princess Margaret's love scandal. Forbidden romance. Princess Margaret's passionate affair with divorced group captain Peter Townsend was a criminal challenge to centuries of royal tradition. Their relationship wasn't just socially unacceptable, but legally problematic under royal marriage laws. Margaret and Townsend conducted their affair using secret meetings, coded messages, and elaborate cover stories. They were literally criminals of love, breaking every rule in the royal handbook, while the establishment systematically destroyed their relationship. The constitutional implications were enormous. This scandal forced the monarchy to modernize its marriage laws and acknowledge that even royals deserved personal happiness. Story 8. The Succession Crisis of 1817. Royal Intrigue. The succession crisis of 1817 was a full-blown criminal enterprise involving forged documents, bribery, and international intrigue. When Princess Charlotte died unexpectedly, competing claimants launched criminal campaigns to secure the inheritance. The Duke of Cumberland's operatives spread across Europe, bribing archivists and stealing documents to support his claim. Meanwhile, other royal siblings discovered convenient secret marriages with suspiciously perfect timing. Story 7. Caroline of Brunswick's Divorce Bill, the Trial of the Century. The Pains and Penalties Bill against Caroline of Brunswick was a criminal prosecution disguised as parliamentary procedure. Caroline faced charges of adultery, conspiracy, and treason, but the evidence was gathered through illegal means. Spies followed her across Europe. Servants were bribed to testify, and private correspondence was stolen. Caroline's defense strategy was brilliant. She launched her own investigation into her husband's criminal behavior. Story 6. Royal financial scandals, embezzlement and fraud. Royal financial scandals involved systematic embezzlement and criminal misuse of public funds. The schemes were breathtaking. Royal accounts were falsified with millions diverted into secret accounts through fake invoices and phantom employees. The network included bankers, merchants, and government officials creating shell companies and money laundering operations. Royal expenditures were so extravagant that nobody questioned additional millions being spent on fake diplomatic expenses. When investigators got too close, evidence mysteriously disappeared and witnesses died in accidents. Don't miss out! Explore our hand-picked true crime recommendations, links in the description. Story 5. Prince Charles' Press Contempt Media Meltdown. Prince Charles's press contempt incident was a calculated criminal act that violated press freedom laws. His attempt to intimidate a journalist at a public event crossed the line from royal privilege into actual criminal behavior. The immediate aftermath was chaos as palace PR teams tried containing damage while constitutional lawyers debated whether royalty could commit crimes against democracy itself. Charles clearly believed his status put him above the law. For the first time in modern history, there was serious discussion about prosecuting a senior royal for criminal behavior. 4. Bigamy scandals, multiple marriages. Royal bigamy scandals were systematic criminal conspiracies involving forged documents, bribed officials, and elaborate cover-ups spanning decades. Royals collected marriages like trophies through secret ceremonies and fake death certificates. The criminal infrastructure was staggering. Corrupt clergy performed illegal ceremonies while forgers created false documents. Each illegal marriage created potential heirs, throwing succession laws into chaos. The The cover-ups often involved more crimes than the original bigamy: witness intimidation, document destruction, and arranged accidents for inconvenient spouses. Story 3. Princess Anne's criminal conviction. Royal in the dock. Princess Anne's criminal conviction was groundbreaking. The first time a modern British royal was found guilty of a crime. This wasn't just a fine, it was the shattering of centuries of royal immunity. Anne's initial response showed she believed royal status should exempt her from legal consequences. The clash between modern democratic justice and ancient royal privilege played out in a courtroom for everyone to see. The precedent was revolutionary. For the first time in centuries, it was established that royals could be held criminally responsible. Story 2. Illegal marriages breaking the Royal Marriage Act. Illegal royal marriages were systematic violations of the Royal Marriage Act. Determined royals created parallel legal systems with private chapels, corrupt clergy, and fake government officials issuing fraudulent licenses. The criminal conspiracy required bribed witnesses, forged documents, and entire communities sworn to secrecy. Each illegal marriage created questions about succession and the very nature of royal authority. Investigation often revealed even more shocking criminal behavior, as attempts to cover up illegal marriages led to witness tampering and document destruction. Story 1. The abdication of Edward VIII, the ultimate royal crime. Here's our opening story. Edward VIII committed the ultimate royal crime, abandoning his sacred duty for forbidden love. He was secretly married to twice divorced Wallis Simpson while preparing to be crowned king. The criminal deception was staggering. For months, Edward carried on this elaborate charade, attending state functions while secretly planning to abandon everything. He had been taking money from the Duchy of Cornwall under false pretenses. The constitutional crime was unprecedented. Edward shattered centuries of tradition and threw the monarchy into chaos. Government documents were classified for decades to hide the true extent of his deception. His criminal abandonment left Britain leaderless at a dangerous moment in world history. And there you have it, True Crime Explorers. 10 royal crimes that prove crowns don't come with consciences. From Edward VIII's ultimate betrayal to Princess Anne's groundbreaking conviction, these historical scandals show us that power without accountability breeds criminal behavior. But if you think these historical crimes were shocking, wait until you see what royal family members are doing right now in our modern world. Until next time, keep it legal.